Janey, who is a nerdy teen, tries to live her life normally until she gets asked out by a popular guy at her college. Her life changes as all the ugly truths reveal themselves. Guess you'll have to stick around to the end to see how the whole story unfolds. Hello and welcome to Comedy Recap. Today we will give you a recap of the film Not Another Teen Movie. Spoilers ahead, obviously. Without further ado, let's dive right into it. The movie starts with Janey Briggs, an ordinary teen watching her favorite romantic movie in her room. She watches her favorite actor in the movie and gets a little too excited. She grabs her vibrator hidden in a sock of hers and proceeds to use it on herself. A few seconds later, her father enters her room to surprise her, when later the rest of her family arrives as well, including all the little children, her grandparents, and even the local priests who came to wish her a happy birthday. The family removed the sheet that was over her covering the truth and realized what she was doing right before as she ejaculated and launched the vibrator up into the air, which landed right onto the cake held by her grandmother, spilling it all over the room and over everyone. Her family gazed at her with shock as she sat hopelessly. Later, we see a tour guide at a college guiding the new students. Janey is seen arriving at the college with her father and brother in a rusty truck. Their father drops them off and leaves while hitting some students along the way. We then meet Jake Weiler, a popular student who every girl crushes over walking down the hallway. Janey is interacting with her locker when Ricky, who crushes over her, tries to give her a mixtape, but she ignores him away. We now meet Mitch, who is a student seeking a girl. Jake, while in the hallway, met with Catherine, who had graduated but still was in college. She approaches him and tells him about her carnal experience with other boys. Priscilla, another popular teen, approaches Jake to complete a movie project that she had planned. Later, Janey is seen painting in the art room where she gets called into the principal's office. The principal is interviewing a foreign naked student and asks Janey to guide the new student. Jake is with his friends who bet him to take a girl of their choice to the prom. They scout the area and found Janey as the challenge for Jake. We then see Mitch along with his loser friends in the changing room, where they overhear in the other room of girls about to rub lotion onto each other. We then see Janey sitting in a class when Rick decides to express his feelings through his written letter. He reads it out loud to her, after which he started to cry. Mitch, on the other hand, is sneaking through the ventilator to peek at the girls, but got too late. They then get to peek at a girl who sits on a toilet and uses it. After a few seconds, the guys freaked out seeing the disgusting event, and their movement makes them burst through the ventilator and onto the girl. All of them then smashed through the floor and landed in the class right below while being covered with all the excretion. Later, during the break, Jake asks out Janey and she denies hanging out with him. Priscilla, who is also the cheerleading head, is taking auditions for a new position. Next, we see Jake preparing to play football, where he flashes back to a memory in which he throws a good pass to his team player who gets brutally dismembered in half by the opposition. He comes back from the flashback and misses out on training where the coach denies him to play. Mitch and his friends are sitting in detention when the teacher overhears them talking and approaches them, giving more longing detention. We now see Jake in his home telling his dad how he didn't want to become like him, who in return weirdly tries to make him sleep with his own mother. Janey also talks to her father and tells him how Jake asked her out and what she should do. He tells her to go for it. Jake talks to his sister Catherine and asks her how to make Janey date him. She tells him to gain her trust initially. Jake, the next day at the college, saves Mitch from a beating right after beating him up and later sings a song for Janey to gain her trust. She finally agrees to go out with him. Catherine meets Janey and helps her with her looks. Janey, after becoming all gorgeous, walks down the stairway where her father, brother, and Jake looked at her in disbelief. Jake held a party in his house and introduced Janey to everyone. Priscilla saw them and got jealous of her. Catherine, who is open to trying anything, approaches an old lady at the party and found out that she has never been kissed. She then took her into an empty room and kissed her, later had intercourse with her as well. Janey, who thinks she had drunk alcohol, jumped into the pool. Jake got her out where Priscilla approached them and spilled water on her. Janey cried and ran away. Jake sneaked through the window of Janey's room and met with her. He comforted her and told her how she should try chasing her dream of becoming an artist. They tried to kiss each other, but failed after head bumping into each other. The next day, Priscilla met again with Janey and tried to bully her, but failed since Janey had now become more confident. Jake met Janey again and finally asked her out for the prom, where she said yes. The day of the match came when Jake sat in substitution. The match began when a player who was bleeding from his ears pre-match got knocked out right as the match started. The coach asked and then told the referee that he'll still play to not let Jake play. The second kickoff took place when the same guy again got knocked out. The coach then finally asked Jake to step up to the pitch. The match started again when Jake had the ball and prepared to pass the ball. Everyone looked at him with hope when he threw the ball, which unfortunately went straight into the previously injured team player, which made them lose the match. Jake is now walking away from the stadium where Janey met him. Jake's friends also had coincidentally met them and whispered into Janey's ear. Jake thought that he had revealed the secret to her. He then regretted his decision of lying to her about not actually asking her out and only doing so for a bet. A melodic performance takes place in which Jake and Janey realize their mistakes. Janey also started to have feelings for him. The prom night finally came when Jake took his sister while Janey went with Jake's friend. Both of the couples finally decided to dance, and Jake and Janey decided to make each other jealous. The moment came of selecting the prom king and queen. Jake got made the prom king, while Priscilla waited to be selected as the prom queen. The judge then chose the joint twins as the prom queen, which made Priscilla disappointed. Janey saw them being crowned from afar, and then saw them having their dance, which made her sad. She, sometime later, left while Jake saw her and tried to follow her. He ran through the traffic and even crashed into some. He then met his friend who was having intercourse with a girl. He thought it was Janey underneath him, but found out that it was Priscilla. He then asked his friend where Janey could be, and he told him that she must have run off to her home. He then went to her and met her dad, who told her that she had left to go to Paris. He then went to the airport and saw that it was crowded. Desperate Jake then asked the crowd to let him pass as he wanted to meet the girl that he loved. The crowd believed him and let him pass. Jake rushed through the crowd and saw Janey far away about to enter the airplane. He found a football and decided to throw it at her to stop her. He takes a deep breath and throws it right at her. She realizes his presence and talks to him. He apologized for everything, and Janey, who had also developed feelings for him and couldn't resist leaving, she finally kissed him while the crowd cheered for them. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.